February birthdays. All right, the time being 6:01, I'm going to call the Board of Health meeting to order. All members are present with the exception of Lisa Bezanson. If you would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Be seated. All right, first on our agenda are public announcements and announcements from the health department. I'm going to turn it over to our health agent, Chris Schultz, to give those announcements.
I'm going to keep it brief tonight. So for our COVID update, as of February 3rd, we had 21 active cases. And just a reminder to people, when I say 21 active cases, that's proctored PCR tests. The only other announcement we have is I know there are a number of people who have called into the health department to have their trash barrels replaced. We are out of trash barrels, and we are waiting on a shipment. I don't have an ETA on that, so bear with us. As soon as we have them, we will distribute them.
And still rats
They're just, so the trash barrels have a lifespan of about 10 to 15 years, and we're in year 12, so they're breaking down.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris. Anybody have any questions? All right, moving on to our discussion and action items. The first item is Health Department update on education, community outreach, and public health programs. I'm going to turn that back over to the Health Department. We also have our home health nurse, Lindsay, joining us as well, so I'll turn that over to you guys.
All right, so we're doing a lot of work with public outreach, community outreach, making sure that we're updating programming and offering as much as we can. Current things that the department is offering is CPR, hands-only, BLS levels. We can offer CPR and AED for the professional rescuer, and any combination of CPR, first aid, and AED to accommodate whatever people are looking for. Bloodborne pathogen, we have been, due to staffing, it's been a little bit more challenging to offer these, but we're working through it. We can also offer babysitting classes. I'm going to try to get one together for, if not February vacation, for April school vacation. Get some babysitters up and running for summer vacation. We'll definitely have at least 1 or 2 classes over the summer, for sure. Something else we already are able to offer is wilderness and remote first aid training. Community outreach, we had the Talk They Hear You successful campaign last year. We're continuing to work with the Talk They Hear You folks through social media, through podcasts, and we'll in May offer more programming with them. Attending lots of conferences and seminars for train the trainer opportunities and different ideas for how we can bring newer ideas into town. Gonna start, we've been talking about this for a while, gonna start the preparedness with Pedro over at the library, story hour. With the little kids coming up, again, it's just been a staffing thing, trying to make sure everything office side is taken care of and infectious disease side. We've been mentioning a lot lately about looking into creating the new recycle programming to engage all residents of all ages. So that will be big on that. And then one of the biggest ways we can reach everyone in town is through social media, also through the health department roundtable. We do a lot of education. And then also events happening at the senior center, the library. You know, even if it's just when we're at the Abington Celebrates events, coming up to the tent and asking us questions, or coming to the office and asking us questions. That's what we're here for. I know I'm always happy to answer whatever question I can. Same goes for Chris. I will be attending the Preparedness Summit in Atlanta. So I'll bring back some cool and fun programming and games and stuff for the younger side of things, so that we can get the younger generation more excited and interested, and exposed to the preparedness side, outside of just the Red Cross's Prepare with Pedro.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? No. Thank you for coming out. I know you usually don't come to these, so it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Talk about them.
Yeah.
All right. With that, we're going to move on to our next item, which is discussion discussion on updating the regulation prohibiting smoking in workplaces, public places. We finished at our last meeting the retail sales regulation, so we have 3 regulations in town regarding smoking right now. This is the second of those 3, and I think probably the last one we're gonna look at, because the other ones don't really have much to change at this point in time. So everybody should have a copy with them of the new draft, written by the Massachusetts Association of Health Boards. Unlike last time, where there was like 90 different decisions to make, there's only really like 2 or 3 here. So this should be a little bit easier to get through. If you have any of the old regulations with you, it's the prohibiting smoking in workplaces, public places regulation. It was printed out in the past. For those of you at home, you can find this on the town website. And we're going to treat it like before. We'll go through the couple policy decisions, make the decisions we need to make, and we'll send it off to town council. Anybody have any questions about how it is before we go on? Great. Okay. So, looking at the first page of the regulation, the first policy decision comes up is really just telling us whether we need to delete or add definitions depending on what we choose for sections 4C and D. So we can't do that until we choose those ones. So we're going to move on. Section 4 is where we can start to make policy decisions. So this would be section 4C on page 3. And the policy decision is for us to choose where we want smoking to be prohibited in the town of Abington. And this would be what goes on beyond state law. As you can see in the list, there's 12 different options here. Municipal buildings, for example, are required by state law and things of that nature. On our current regulation, it states that smoking in the use of any tobacco product is hereby prohibited in Abington at town-owned playgrounds, parks, beach/pool areas, and recreational facilities, not including the Strawberry Valley Golf Course outdoor areas. So that's what it currently states. It's also worth noting in these options, it also talks about smoking bars, which we banned in the town of Abington. So we could say if we're going to ban them or not, it doesn't matter, they're not allowed. And there's also membership associations, which we already ban smoking in private clubs with another regulation. So those things to keep in mind are probably just givens we're going to put in anyways, as well as the state law. So I'll open it up for discussion. I, for one, don't have any issue with the way things are worded now. So at least if you want to state the status quo, I am in favor of doing so.
I agree. Smoking is also hereby prohibited in your local, so it would be all 12 locations.
Well, it could be any of the 12 we choose.
I think we should choose all 12.
Chris, do you have any thoughts on?
Of the, yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead, because
I was gonna
that
say-
might change my question.
Yeah, of the 12, which is the ones that are not currently covered? I
Yeah.
believe it would be 11, right?
11, I think 10 is not currently in the current regulation. 9 nursing homes, buffer zones around municipal entrances might be covered somewhere. I thought that was a state thing.
Yeah, I think it's just allowing you to determine the number of feet.
Right. So bouncing back to my question, is there any thought or recommendation from the health department on what to include or not to include?
I mean, personally, as many places as we can ban smoking, the better off we are. I would suggest including hotels, motels, and B&Bs. We don't have them now, but we might in the future. Might as well have it right already in place.
And outdoor restaurants and bars, we don't currently allow that anyways, do we?
No, I don't think we allow smoking on premise, which would include.
Okay. And public transportation, bus, taxi, yeah, I mean, it's
Not allowed in those.
right, so.
I'm fine with all 12.
My only question would be if we're gonna say, hey, let's go ahead and do 12, what's the number of feet we're gonna do on number 4 for buffer zones around entrances? I thought the state law was 25 feet.
I think it is. I've seen up to 100 feet. Usually at healthcare facilities.
Most healthcare facilities don't even allow it on the premises yet, but,
Yeah.
you know, see if they're smoking on Route 18 from Social Hospital.
Right.
So, I'm fine with all 12 as well. I think if we could probably just stick to the state law for the number of feet.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, I think would be appropriate. That's not, I think it's a huge problem, I don't think, but I think, yeah, clearly we should hotels and motels. For the future, we should have that as well.
I'll make a motion that we adopt all 12 options for our policy decision on section 4C, and that the buffer zone for number 4CA, 4C4 includes the state regulation, or 25 feet, whichever one it ends up being. That's my motion.
I'll second.
Katie, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. The next one is, okay, smoking bars are prohibited. We don't need to make that decision because we already did in our retail sales, so that's section E. We'll just duplicate that there. So following that is section 5, enforcement. So we can choose fines for the violations of 4C, D, and E that are higher than those in state law and are listed above, or use the state penalties for all policies. The current fining structure is the same as written. So we can not change anything, or we can make it higher.
I don't think we really need to change anything. It's not like we have a ton of violations.
Right.
I don't think there's a need to make them any higher than what they are.
I'm behind that as well.
Agreed.
Any input? Okay. Do I have any action on that?
Do we need a motion?
We can probably all agree, but
Yeah,
we
okay.
should probably do the right
I'll
thing.
make a motion to keep the fines as currently written at $100 for the first violation.
Motion from Kevin to adopt the finding structure as written.
Second that.
Second from Clay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The only other thing, and I don't think it's going to be a big deal because we chose all the options, is deciding what definitions are going to go in. But since we chose all definitions, I think they can all stay. Unless anybody wants to make a motion that we change any of those, it looks like they should all stay the same. Okay. Great. All right, so that is it for that. So this will go off and get reviewed by town council, and we will have public hearing on the retail sales and the prohibiting smoke in the place as well. Okay. My agenda. Moving on, next item on our agenda is to approve the minutes of January 9th. Those are provided attached. It's 21 pages long. The first 4 pages are minutes.
Right, the rest of it
is a
the
copy of
regulations.
the regulation.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Second that as well.
You can't, I
I'll
didn't figure it out.
second.
Oh, I wasn't there, got it.
Kevin motions to approve as written. Katie seconded, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it passes. All right. Correspondence. Any correspondence?
Nothing to note.
That's a first. I like
Yeah,
that.
it's early in the week.
All right. Anybody from the board?
When's the next time that the compost site starts up? Is that April?
First weekend of April.
First week?
And we will be, excuse me, looking for some additional seniors to join our volunteers. We're down a few, so if anyone's interested.
Do they get tax credits for that?
They do. And if they're interested in doing that, they need to contact Amy Barrett over at the Council on Aging.
I do want to note, I think this is our only meeting for the month of February due to a number of holiday scheduling things, so we will meet again, I think it's March 6th.
March 6th.
If the dates line up. So for everybody at home, anybody that's watching,
So there's a trash delay next week.
I think it's fun. So there will be, do you want to make that announcement?
Not officially yet.
All right, that is the end of our agenda. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion to adjourn for Kevin, second for Katie, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?